So this will be pretty easy because all I have to do is take the old wires out and put the new wires in, right? Hey everybody, welcome back to Mrs. RATTLECAN'S house. I am James. It was crispy here this morning. Luckily we got the boiler back online last night, so we have heat in the house once again. It's a lovely 50 degrees inside because that's what I set the thermostat at. So we're going to talk today about this room and the assumption that if you're going to rewire a room, it should be pretty easy, right? Because you just pull the old wire out and you put the new wire in. So I'm going to show you what the process is. And this is just one room. This is the dining room. Pardon me. This is the living room, which adjoins to the dining room. So I'm going to show you what we have. I have 5 outlets in this room. I have one here. I have one there. I have another one there. I have another one there. And the 5th one is over yonder. So it should, again, you would think that it would be fairly easy. Part of the reason it is taking so long to get these rooms done is because they are tangled up like crazy as far as where these switches, where these outlets go. And I'm doing the easy part. I'm just doing the outlets right now. We've not even begun to dig into that chicanery there. So this is one outlet. This is the number 1 by the front door outlet. It does not work. It has not worked for a number of years from what the owner was able to tell me. And this is at the terminal run. So this is at the end since we only have the 1 wires. And this wire goes up. There's some thought that it might connect up in here somewhere, but that's not true because I have run a tester in there and hit every single one of these switches and they have nothing to do with that. So that is running in the up direction, which means it ties into something in the attic and I just have to figure out what. Number 2 is here, and this is a little unusual because this is the first time in this house that I have seen this. This is a metal old work box. In theory, I should be able to pull these little fingers off of here, and then I should be able to pull that out. That is also a terminal run, meaning the end of a line. I think I know where that one comes from. Maybe. I'll show you in a little bit. Number 3 is not a terminal run. It is tied into something. And these wires, one goes up, one goes down. Interesting thing is there is a bathroom on the other side of this. Number 4 is the thorn in my side. This one is actually pigtailed off and it is connected up to, there are 1, 2, 3, at least 3 wires in this box. This box is going to be a huge problem. I'll show you why in just a moment. And then number 5 is here. This one has 2 lines to it, and both of these lines go down into the basement. Now I mentioned, here, stand by. Now I mentioned earlier that the number 4 box was going to be a pain. Typically the boxes that we are running into are like this. They're metal boxes. It has a bracket that is affixed to the 2x4 next to it. So you have to cut it off because I can't get that out of there. And then they're fairly easy to work with. They're super shallow. You can see the blue boxes I'm working with, they probably extend out at least 1/3 more in the back. And if I'm putting in GFCI outlets, I need every bit of that room that I can, especially combined with the fact that we're overkill and we're using 12 gauge wire. These are fairly easy to extract out of there because there is a bracket inside of there that holds the wire in, and all you have to do is screw that out and you can extract your wire from that box. The number 4 box is different. The number 4 box appears to be a regular 2-gang metal box, and it has, and the reason that I believe that to be so is because I can see this threaded end in here. And this makes me so very, very unhappy because that means that the clamp that holds the wire is on the opposite side where I can't get to it. So what we'll try to do is we'll try to back this, this little nut off of here and then possibly push this back up in here to get this box loose. This also means that I'm now looking at extracting a box this size instead of extracting a box this size. So yeah, there's that. Let's go downstairs into the basement and I'll show you the other part of why this takes so stinking long. Okay, we're now down in the white room, which is directly beneath the living room. Here's my open ceiling. Somewhere, probably right in there, is where the outlet is that we don't have a wire to. That's the wire that is going up into the attic. So there's hole number 1 that we have to drill to get down here because that will be the terminal end of our run. We will then run a wire along this direction. That is the second outlet, which is tied into the now de-energized and partially disassembled flying splice. Yeah. So that should be, and that's a terminal run there. So that runs straight up into there and then we're done with that. The third outlet is right back in there. And that's rather interesting because you'll notice that that goes back to the other side of the crawl space, which means that outlet is tied into the bedroom outlets in some form or fashion. So we get to crawl up in the crawl space and explore that. Which then brings us over to this outlet, the number 4, the problem child outlet, which interestingly enough, there are 2 wires there. There's a 3rd wire that goes up. My 90% sure guess is that this is the wire that's also supplying the power to the outlets in the main bathroom, which means that those outlets have never had any sort of GFCI protection at all. So there are 3 runs, and that run then comes back down and who knows. So we got time, we're gonna have to put some time in the crawl space tracing that, which then brings us over to the last outlet, and we believe that is where that outlet goes. This will actually be the beginning of our circuit, and then this will go back to the breaker box, which then, because of new NEC code, will then have to be protected with an arc fault breaker. And that is all the stuff that I've had to discover. Well, not even all the stuff, because I haven't been in the crawl space yet, have I? No, let's go in the flipping crawl space. Doggone it. Okay, as I suspected, this line, that one right there, comes down from the wall in the main bathroom, and then it transits all the way, there it is there, it transits all the way down to the wall in the master bathroom, which currently has a big giant hole cut in it and a wire coming up through it. So that is where the main bathroom is getting, the master bathroom is getting its power, which is interesting because that outlet is actually switched by a wall switch. So at some point that power goes up into the attic. So that's going to be a goat rope. And then that's coming from the number 4 outlet. The number 3 outlet comes right up through here. Comes right up through that cable there. And then that continues over to one of the bedrooms. So we'll have to go up and look again and see if there's a splice in the number 3, because that wire is just all by itself. Right through there. Am I even getting that in the shot? Probably not. Anyways, so now we're back upstairs to try to figure out exactly where all that stuff goes. So after all of that, here's what we know about our living room. Outlet number 1 is no worky, and the line goes upstairs. Outlet number 2 has one line, and that one was the flying splice, which is already disconnected. So that is actually probably the easiest line in this whole freaking room. Outlet number 3 actually has one line that goes up, and it has one line that goes down. So the line that goes down then continues on underneath the hallway to another bedroom. And since it has a line that goes up, it could, the line that goes up, I know that there's a bathroom receptacle on the other side of this wall in this general location. It could connect up to that, which could then go across the wall to the other outlet, which is basically here, which may come down to there, and that's the problem child outlet. Outlet number 4 has one line that goes up. It has 2 lines that go down. One of those goes back. We know for sure that one of those goes back to the master bath because we traced that with our eyeballs. Oh great, someone's on the line. And then the second line ties into outlet number 5, which then that has 2 lines going down. And then one of them is, I can't use this symbol because it isn't a home run. It's not going to the panel. This actually ties into the electrical box in the ceiling of the utility room. And if you have been paying attention, you'll notice that apparently the entire Montgomery County area seems to have been tied in to that one electrical box. Anyways, so this is why it takes so long to get stuff done. So now I've spent, the better part of the morning, at least an hour or so, trying to figure out where all of this stuff is going. It's taken longer because I'm filming this, which is one of the reasons we're not filming a lot, because it just takes so long. And we're fighting, I got a timeline, at least on the electrical, I'm trying to get done. So that will be an easy one, easy-ish just to drop down. This will be easy enough to drop down. This will be interesting just because it's going through a joist. We saw that it goes like right through the middle of the joist. And then there's, anyways. So there may be a part 2 to this. There may not. I may just get it done. So, but that's why it takes so long. So if you're trying to hire somebody to do this, then remember, this is the stuff that they're doing. Now they're going to do it much faster than I am. They're going to do it with a lot more knowledge than I have. They have a lot more resources as far as tips and tricks on how to locate where things are going, and experiences with working in homes in your area, the way that they have been built to different standards throughout the years. I'm having to figure out, I'm reinventing the wheel with everything that I come up. So hopefully this will help you, if not do it yourself, then at least kind of understand the process when that's going on. So it's lunchtime. I'm going to have lunch. This has been Mrs. Rattlecan's House. I'm James. You guys have a good weekend. Cheers.
If you enjoyed watching this episode of Mrs. Rattlecan's House, consider checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, and to get the latest updates on our progress, like us on Facebook. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Perhaps we should have some wine.